Alright, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 27th day of August 2025. This will be our final Wednesday session of August. So you see what I have here, crude oil, 4 trades, $9.90 per contract. I just wanted to go over this a little bit with you because there's some things about crude oil that some of you guys don't know, and I wanted to show you some other things. Now, this is using the swing trade product, okay? You see there are no other indicators on here. There's nothing else going on here. So this is solely the swing trade product. Alright. I guess, I should go out here and get rid of that and get rid of that and probably go here to do TV trades, right? tvtrades.com. You do that. Show you how to take the free trial. You do that at TV trades and target view trades.com. That's the other web page too. Alright, let's get back here. So, $9.90 per contract. That was based on the first 2 days of the week, right? Monday and Tuesday. Now, I threw crude oil out there because, well, honestly, Jessica asked me to throw it out there and take a look at it. And Jessica is in here today, so she can appreciate that. One of the things that I wanted to point out about crude, well, there's a couple of things. One, crude is $10 a tick. If you're doing it on the micros, it's $1 a tick. I'm using a 19 range bar here. With crude oil, a 19 range is a pretty big bar. When I just showed you a minute ago, if I'm going to go trading it, which I'm planning to do here in a few minutes, I have it on the I have the crude on a 9 range right here. Okay. Now you would do everything the same with a 9 range. All the 9 ranges that I do the same. Everything's the same on all the 9 ranges. It doesn't matter what market you're on. It's the size of the range bar that matters, right? And the NQ gave me some difficulty early today on the 19 range. So I'll just switch that for right now to the 9 range. And we'll see how it goes today. Alright, as far as trading goes. Right now, the markets are really, really slow. We have NVIDIA, I think, after the bell today. So I think that's why the markets are so slow right now. I was looking for the ES to get up to, let's get up above the prior high. Friday's high is what I was looking for to get up above here. And Friday's high was right here. Friday's high was 96 and a quarter, and we did get up above that. It 502 and a quarter. Now the all-time high is right there at 508.75. I was saying earlier this week and last week that we're going to be seeing all-time highs again, and you can see we are probably going to hit that today. After the bell, we'll probably see all-time highs. Now I went into a big thing earlier today about where I think it's going to go after that. Alright, I'll draw it up for you if I have time in a little while. Alright, but for right now, I expect we're going to see higher highs when NVIDIA announces after the bell. And I don't expect we're going to have a lot of opportunity to trade between now and then. So, I'm going to go here and do this part first. Okay, let me save this first. And I'm going to jump over here and do this part that I wanted to show you guys first. Alright, with crude oil. Anybody ever trade crude? Anybody out here ever trade crude? Yes, no, maybe. Crude is $10 a tick. I used to trade crude regularly. It used to be, if you go back into here in the spreadsheet, see we have a crude oil column right here. Now, you can see that I haven't traded, there's nothing in the crude oil column since, actually back here, the last time I traded crude was the middle of May. I made 24 ticks on it. Then back here in February a couple times. I thought I traded in January, but I guess not. But I used to trade it regularly. Right, if we go way back, see here in the crude column, there's some stuff in there. And I used to trade it pretty regularly. And it was a pretty good earner, you see. 430 in that one, 740, minus 120, but 1290. Now this is back in 2023 now. I used to trade it pretty regularly back then. When gold wasn't really doing anything, I brought crude in, and then crude stopped doing stuff, and then gold started doing stuff, so I swapped them because I only have so much real estate. But it is a market that you can get in there and trade if you want to. Keep in mind that it's $10 a tick, and if you're doing the micros, it's going to be $1 a tick. Another thing you should realize about crude is that the market actually opens at 9 and it shuts down, well, the pit hours, 9 to 2:30. Now you can still trade crude, you can trade it right now, right? Where's that DOM that I just created? Hang on. I just created the DOM for it. Here it is. Just gotta put this window on top. Window always on top. I mean, you can still trade it right now, but you can see there's no liquidity. I mean, there's plenty of liquidity. There's just no movement. All right. By plenty of liquidity, I mean, it takes a lot to get to the next. It's got more liquidity than, say, the Russell. Here's the Russell. And more liquidity than the gold. Here's the gold. It's got pretty close to the ES as far as liquidity goes. It's got more liquidity than the NQ. It's plenty liquid. It's not volatile. All right, you have to go down to a smaller time frame maybe to get more trades out of it. But not having a ton of trades is kind of what you expect when you're talking about swing trades, right? You're not expecting to get 30 trades a session. So that being said, these little black circles are the open and close of the market. Okay, so trading within there is pretty much what you're going to be looking at. Like the market opened up here, 9 a.m. And over here it shut down. Right there is 2:30 on this candle, right? But then the next candle is the last candle of the day. This candle right here is the very last candle of the day, because after that, you switch overnight. You switch into the overnight margins. Right, the margins on crude are pretty high. Normally they're pretty high because normally it's kind of volatile. But I wanted to point all this out to you so you understand just some of the little intricacies about crude oil. When it moves, it usually moves pretty quick. I usually trade it on a smaller time frame. I don't do it on a 19, but this is swing trading we're talking about. So in this case right here, the way that the swing trade arrows work, let me just go over this in a little more detail just to make sure everybody understands the way you should be trading this. Because when people tell me that they're consistently not having good entries on crude, I mean on the swing trades, it just doesn't make sense unless you're doing something wrong. So let's explain it little by little, okay? First, let's get rid of the actual trades, and we'll just look at the gray arrows. Okay, and let's do it where I don't have all this stuff on it. So what the gray arrow is telling you, when you get a gray arrow like this, right? Anytime you get a gray arrow, it's suggesting, if it's a down arrow like this, it's suggesting if you get a down close on the next bar, if the next bar gives you a down close, you're probably going to have a black arrow. That's going to be your entry point. That's what the gray arrow is telling you. If you have an up gray arrow, it's suggesting if you get an up close on the bar after that, that's probably going to be your black arrow. Alright, so that's what it's looking for. Every time you get a gray arrow, it's looking for the down close on the bar after it. A gray arrow down, it's looking for the down close on the bar after it. Or a gray arrow up, it's looking for the up close on the bar after it. Now, that doesn't always happen. Like right here, it was looking for the up close, but you got a down close. So it's still looking for the up close, but you got a down close. So it's still looking for the up close, but you got another down close. Then finally you get the up close. Now, this may or may not have actually been a trade, right? Because after you get all of these, some other things may happen that disqualify the trade. Okay? Usually you're not going to get one gray arrow without something behind it, without the black arrow behind it. Usually that's not going to happen. But what I'm suggesting is wait for the black arrow. Alright? Now these are range bars. So on this particular 19 range, you know how big the range bar is going to be, right? It's going to be 5 points. From the bottom to the top is where you want to have your order. But you can't really be proactive right at the beginning of the bar. You have to wait and get it close to the top before you can be proactive and put your order on ahead of time. If you want to put it on ahead of time at all. I mean, most of the time it's going to pull back anyway. You know, when you get the down close, like in this case right here, you get the down close, most of the time it's going to pull back a little bit, so you have some time. This one right here, you know, you get the down close right there, it pulled all the way back up here. You could have gotten a much better entry, it probably would have stopped you out anyway. But you got a much better entry. But you see this one right here, the up close on that, it only pulled back a little bit, but still. If you didn't have your order waiting, if you just had an alert set to let you know that it closed, and it was an actual, I took the black ones off temporarily, Brad. These are all gray. I took the black ones off temporarily. I'm just showing you what it looks like before you get the black arrow. Okay, so you can see what to expect. The statement was the arrows all look gray. Are there any black ones? And no, there are no black ones right now. I took them off. Alright, I did that right in here. See, these are the black arrows right here. Swing trade actual. Swing trade notice, the gray arrows. Swing trade actual, the black arrows. I don't know why they're showing gray in it. Okay, that's because it's just off. Alright. Okay, that's alright. Alright, so that's how you should be thinking of these things. When you get a gray arrow on the swing trade, you get a gray arrow that's pointing up. You should be thinking, okay, if we get an up close on the next bar, it's likely to be a black arrow that's going to trigger. Now, knowing their range bars, you know what the bottom of the bar is. You can put your buy stop limit 5 points above the bottom of the bar on a 19 range. It'd be 5 points above the bottom of the bar, 20 ticks. Alright? I'm sorry, this is crude oil. It wouldn't be 5 points. Sorry, it wouldn't be 5 points. It'd just be 20 ticks above the bottom of the bar. It's crude oil. It's just going to be 20 ticks. Alright, so from 62, we'll say 62.10. What is the bottom of this bar? 62.10. So be buying 62.30. Right? 20 ticks above 62.30. So the bar closed up there at 62.29. Be buying 62.30. Now you can do that and be proactive, but you don't want to be proactive right at the beginning of the bar. You know, these bars take a while to trigger, right? They don't happen, you know, like every other minute or something like that. They take a while to happen. Like if you look over here, this bar right here, the bar began at 12:43 and finished 5 minutes later at 12:48. Oops, I'm sorry, that was the wrong bar. This one began at 13:34 and finished at 14:06, so half an hour later it finished. And so right now I have this black circle here because this is the close of the pit hours right here. At 2:30 is the close of the pit hours. But this bar right here, whenever it closes, if it closes down right here, you'd totally be expecting that that's going to give you a black arrow if you had a down close on this. Now, I don't know that it's going to give us a down close. I don't know that it's going to move at all because it hasn't really moved much, right? It hasn't moved all that much since we started watching it. But what you would be looking for is, it's a 19 range, so you'd be looking for something 20 ticks off the high of the bar. Alright, the high of the bar is at 64.23, so you'd be expecting it to close down here. It's a 19 range, so you'd be expecting it to close down here at 64.04. You'd be selling 64.03, 20 ticks below the top. But you'd be expecting the close to be 1 tick above that number. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? So 19 range is each tick is $1. No, on a micro, each tick is $1. With a micro crude, each tick is $1, Brad. And it doesn't matter that it's a 19 range, it's just crude oil. With crude oil, each tick is $10 on the regular contract and $1 on the micro. Okay, so like for a 19 range bar, if your stop was say 25 ticks, with a regular contract that's $250. With a micro contract, it's $25. Okay. Now, I sent out, there's something that I sent out somewhere. Anybody that signs up for the swing trades, anybody that signs up right now, or anybody that signs up for the swing trades, if you're in here and you haven't got the swing trades working yet and you're a subscriber, if you're already a subscriber to TV Trades, send me an email and I'll turn your swing trades on if you don't have them turned on already. Right? Just send an email to me and put swing trade in the subject line, and I'll turn your swing trades. I'll put your TradingView login ID in the body. Just put swing trades. You can actually put your TradingView login ID in the subject line too if you want. Put swing trades and give me your TradingView login ID. If you're already a subscriber and you don't have the swing trade tool in your invite onlys, you don't have this right here in your invite only and you're a subscriber, let me know if you want to get it. Okay, and I'll give it to you. If you're not a subscriber, well, become a subscriber and you get access to a bunch of these things. You get access to that one, that one, that one, and that one. Those 4 things. Okay. Alright. So crude oil hasn't moved at all, really, since we started looking at it. But because this gray arrow is pointing down, you're looking for the next down close to be the trigger. Alright, the next down close would be the trigger, more than likely. That's what all these gray arrows suggest. Alright, so now if I turn the black arrows back on, You see, now here you have just the black arrows without any gray arrows. So it's nice that you have the black arrows, but you don't have any notification that you're going to have a black arrow, right? You have nothing. You have no other indication anywhere that says you're going to have a black arrow. I don't even have background color or anything like that. Right? And that's something that I should probably mention too. If you put the background color on, usually the swing trades are going to be opposite the background color. Usually. Okay? Because they happen at the end of a trend. The background colors happen with the trend. These happen at the end of the trend, typically. Okay, so usually they're going to be against the background color. You can just think opposite with the background color. You can actually change the background color if you want to use background colors with the swing trades. You can actually change the background colors. You can go into here and make this one blue, make this one red, and then it would make more sense with the swing trades. Okay. I'm not suggesting that you do that, but if you're going to use the background colors at all, they are not they're not created for the swing trades. Alright, so when you just have this for your swing trade, you have no indication that it's going to happen, and there's so much time in between the bars that even if you had the alert going, you don't have any indication that it's going to happen until you get the alert. So the alert could come out, like in the middle of the night, like this right here. Oh, that was 11:56. This one, this guy right here, that was 9:43. How about this one? No, this one. Yeah, 3:11 in the morning. So this was the European Open right here. Now you would have no notification that that's going to happen at all. It would just trigger, and then you'd be sound asleep. But if you had the gray arrows on there to let you know that hey, the next bar is likely to be the trigger, then you get your notification here, and then you can get up and probably go and make yourself a cup of coffee or whatever it is that you do at 3 o'clock in the morning, and get ready for the trade, and then put the trade on, and then go back to bed. Actually, that's something else that I wanted to talk to you about. Targets and what to expect out of a trade. Okay. Everybody with me so far with all this stuff? Let's just jump back here and see if we have any trades triggering here that I could actually take right now. No. Okay, so let's go back here, and we'll see. You don't have the swing trade. When you click on indicators, you see a lot of swing trade options. Which one do you pick? What do you mean? John, can you send me a picture? I mean, when you go to indicators like this, and you go to invite only, you should have just one swing trade in. You guys aren't gonna have all this stuff. This is all stuff that I've worked on that are in various phases of doneness. But you should have one swing trade, right? And when you click on swing trade, it just goes on the chart. You don't have anything else that you have to do to put it on the chart. Okay. I'm not so sure about it. What's your ID, John? I think I have your ID. I'll make a note to myself and go check that later. Okay, John? Because I am almost sure I gave that to you personally. Unless something changed. But I'll go check that out for you. Okay, I can't do it right now, but I will check it out for you. Okay. So, targets, what to expect out of a trade, and when to get out of a trade. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about now. Right? All this stuff was talking about when to see an entry coming, when to enter, and now what to expect out of a trade. Okay. So, just because you're on a larger time frame doesn't mean the markets do anything different. Like I can go to a much larger time frame, and the markets are still going to be doing the same thing. They're still going to be going up and down and up and down and up and down. It's just on a bigger time frame. If you go to a smaller time frame, within this up, you're going to have like up and down, 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 and then finally you're going to get some downs, and then ups and downs, and then ups. You're going to have all those little ones within this one big leg right here. Alright, so it's all the same stuff. Now, I say that because when you're thinking about targets, it doesn't matter what time frame you're on. You're still looking for it to get to the prior swing high. You're still looking for it to retrace 50%. You're still looking for it to get to the prior swing high to complete the same leg length. You guys remember the diamond principle I talked about a while back? Does everybody remember that? Anybody remember that? The diamond principle? Do you remember? This part of the diamond extends out that way in this amount of time. This amount of time gets copied over to here. This amount of leg length, it gets copied from here up. This is exactly the diamond principle right here. Right, and it was just a random spot. This is also it right here. It was just a random spot that I took. But all that same stuff applies on a larger time frame. So when you're talking about swing trades, you get your entry point, your swing point down here at the bottom. Again, down here at the bottom, and you're expecting to get up to here. Alright, now the way that it works, because I have these gray arrows in here, a lot of the times you're going to go through this level and you'll end up getting up to here somewhere or something like that. You know, that's if you get a whole bunch of these gray ones, that means it's getting up to here and it's letting you know that it's almost at the top. It's almost at the top. You know, that's what happens when you get a whole bunch of those gray ones. And then eventually it's going to give you that, and it's going to push you back down, and you'll be able to take a trade in the other direction. Okay. Okay. Now the reason I said all that is because when you get a trade, like this one right here for instance, you expect it's going to get down to here, right? And then you expect it's going to repeat that distance right there after it gets down to here. Make sense? So you got this distance, right? From here to here. You have that distance. Okay. Once it gets there, you have that distance and you have this amount of time. Okay. And this is what makes the diamond principle. That distance and that amount of time. Let's move this out of the way for a second. And this is on 150 range, so just bear with me, okay? That distance and that amount of time. So now what you expect is after the next pullback, you're going to have the same distance, and it's going to be this amount of time. So this is what it's suggesting, all right? The cross point of that is going to be right over here. It's suggesting that by the 20... No, this is all just given today. But it's suggesting that as it moves out here, that it is going to... Why is it not going to the next day out there? It's just not giving me any other days. But it's suggesting that it's going to be out here somewhere, is where you're going to have this cross point, right? This right here. Price is going to be there whenever that time is, this time span right here ends. That's what it's suggesting. Okay, so the diamond principle goes like this. From there up to there, there's that, and then from there down to there, and that's the repeat of the whole thing. So you shift it all over here, and you get that diamond right here. That's what it's suggesting is going to happen. Goes the same diamond, right? Except this is going to go out to here, like that. So it should be over here, right there, is where you should find that point. That is it. That's what the markets are suggesting is going to happen. So when you're in a trade, when you're in a... let me get rid of some of these things that I just drew. When you're in a swing trade, you can think of that as a target. Now the problem with it is you're going to end up holding over at night if you try to wait till it gets all the way down there. So you're going to have to either hold it overnight or be satisfied with getting out when the markets actually close at the end of the session. Alright, like right now, the markets are going to close at 5 o'clock. You won't be able to trade futures anymore, and you're going to overnight margins. I don't know what the margins are on crude oil right now. I'm sure they're pretty high. They're usually multiples of what the ES and the NQ and the YM and all them are. Actually, the ES is up to 15 grand now, so maybe not. But they're usually pretty high. And the day trading margins are usually higher too. But I wanted to show you that as far as targets go. Now, you can just let it run until you get the gray arrow. If the gray arrow happens to occur during the normal session, you can just get out at the gray arrow when that happens. But if it's still going, you don't have a gray arrow by the end of the session, you might just want to get out at the end of the session. Okay? Okay, let me bump this back down here to a 19 range. And find that drawing thing that I had that I accidentally placed way up there. Okay, should be a little closer now. Right, now the 990 contract doesn't really work out anymore. It's actually more than that now, but it's more than 4 trades now too. But you see, the one trade that happened today was right here. Alright, well, there was this one right here that happened right at the open, and that would have been a minus 25. It stopped out pretty much to the tick right there. It actually went 2 ticks beyond where I would have had my stop at the entry point. And then it went down. This one over here, you would have picked up 33 ticks at the point that I drew all this. It was at 33 ticks. And you can see that if I grab this and I go up here, it's actually 43 ticks. So it went another 10 ticks after that. Now 10 ticks with one contract is $100. 10 ticks with 10 contracts is $1,000. So that is a significant difference. And then it gave you the black arrow. I mean, like I was just saying, right here, you would be expecting the black arrow on a down close, right? And it gave the black arrow as we expected. So what number did I say that was going to be at? 64.03 is what you would have been selling, right? And so you'd be short right here at 64.03, and right now 64.97 is where it is. You'd be 6 ticks into profit right now, following the swing trade. Okay? So all the stuff that I just talked about with the gray arrow and waiting for the black arrow to give you the down close and then having your order ready there and doing all that stuff, you could have done all that while I was talking about it and been in this swing trade right now. No, I didn't take the swing trade myself. I probably should have put the order on, but I didn't. But yeah, I wanted to cover all that with you. Alright. Everybody good with all that? Let me go over here. Does anybody have any questions about any of that stuff? Alright, if you don't have any questions about that, then let's jump back here for a second. Let me cancel, save it again. And we'll jump back here for a second and see if we have any trades triggering. There is one about to trigger here on gold. Let me see if I can find my DOMs, and hopefully I will be able to take it. Here's my gold DOM right here. Okay, so we've got a low here of 47, so we'll be buying 48 on that. Okay, this is not a trade here, not a trade here, and not a trade here. So gold is the only thing that's looking like it might give us a trade right now. Okay. Now, let me go out one more here and see how high did we get? 225. Alright, so we didn't hit all-time highs yet. We're only 6 points away from it, though. As we get closer to the end of the session here, I think we're going to see a lot of activity as we get close to the end of the session and the NVIDIA earnings coming out. Because they're talking about it being a huge thing. So I don't mind not trading right now. The gold is about to give us an up close here, and if it does give us the up close, that will be a long trade. It hasn't triggered yet, though. Okay, 47 up to 48.0 is what you're going to be looking to enter at. Now, let me jump back over here for a minute. I showed you all this with crude oil. Now I want to show you something else. Alright, crude oil has like a little sister. It's called natural gas. And the natural gas earnings come out. Crude comes out on Wednesdays, natural gas comes out on Thursdays. Alright, same time, 10:30. It's usually every Wednesday unless there's a holiday. Like next Wednesday, everything's going to be pushed to Thursday, Friday. Actually, no, next week, everything will be on Thursday. You'll have crude come out on Thursday at 11. Natural gas come out Thursday at 10:30. We've got the out close on the gold. But you see, it's basically the same stuff, and it is also $10 a tick. Okay, so if there's activity in one market, there's usually going to be activity in the other market. They don't run exactly the same. I know it looks like right here. No, they are exactly the same. Hang on. They don't run exactly the same. Sorry about that. I thought I had done this earlier. They don't run exactly the same. Alright. But they do run usually pretty close. The gold is actually starting to run right now, guys. I'm going to throw my stop at break. Here it is, right here. Okay, I'm going to throw my stop at break even on that and lock in some profit. So I have something on the session. Alright, we have... Let me go back there so I can actually watch it. This is kind of crazy playing blind like this. Alright, so what we anticipate is going to get up to 49.5 at least right here. 49.5. Okay, and so I'm going to lock in 5 ticks on this right now. That's $500. And 49.5 is what it looks like it's going to get up to. That would be all the way up there. That would be 16 ticks, or $1,600 for me. Alright, I'm going to lock in 11, that's $1,100. Now 49.5 is what I was saying. There it is. So there's 16 ticks, and we'll see if it's going to go any further. Nope, 16 ticks. Alright, well, that was a great trade. So you all could have gotten that with me. You saw me put the trade on earlier, right? You all could have gotten that one with me. And I have... Is this my Wednesday spreadsheet? Here it is, my Wednesday spreadsheet. So today on gold, right now, we have 16 ticks. $1,600. Okay. If you guys want access to this Wednesday spreadsheet that I've been keeping since we started this, I'll share it with you right now. Okay. Okay, and copy this link. Let's see, done. And the people who I accidentally gave that is the... Yeah, it is TM Joe Group. It is still giving signals. I'm not one that's not it is still giving signals. It's just not something that I'm really discussing at this point right now. Let me give you that link. This is the link for the spreadsheet. Alright, now I'm going to stick it out there in 2 places. There is that place, and there's a separate chat box that will actually have a link that I can stick it in. I'm trying to right now. Hang on. Paste. I'll send it there too. So anybody that wants access to this can have it right now. But yeah, the TV trades, the beta, trigger, all that stuff is still good. I haven't changed any of that. I haven't been giving access to it to any new people though. I mean, you guys, the people that do have access in there, people that have access to this guy right here, I'm not giving it to anybody else right now because it's just too much information. Okay, but I know some people are using that solely for the things that we talked about when I created it, and so I can't get rid of it. It wouldn't help people if I got rid of it. And that kind of brings me to another thing. I've created some things. I'm always, I trade for a living, right? So I make money trading. So I'm always going to try to make things better for me. And when I make it better for me, I make it better for you, and I just pass it along, and everybody's happy, right? Because if I make it better, then I'm going to be using it. And so, if I'm using it, you're going to say, well, why don't I have that? So I make it available to you as well. Now, the reason I say that is because I have done things to make things better. I'm not done with it yet. I mean, I'm using it a little bit right now, but I'm not done with it yet, so it's not anything that I can distribute yet. But there will be periods, there'll be times where these gray arrows will be your actual entry point. It will be before the black arrow. It'd be on a gray arrow will be your actual entry point. So you'd be entering, it'd be the black arrow, the bar, it'd be like the open of the bar, the black arrow, instead of the close of the bar at the back. The black arrow is where your entry point would be. But I'm still working that out. Alright, still working it out. But it looks really good. When it does happen, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, you'd be entering, some of these black arrows, like this one right here that didn't go anywhere, your entry would be up here at the top instead of down here at the bottom. So you'd have gotten a break even or gotten some profit out of that instead of having nothing. Okay, that's the idea. Right. So like this one over here, your entry would have been at the bottom of this instead of at the top up here. Now I'm not sure that I have it. Actually, I'm pretty sure I have it on this computer, but I don't remember what I called it, so I can't really show you. I do have it for sure on this computer, but anyway, just so you know, I'm always trying to make things better. And so when I do make things better, it's not because things didn't work or they stopped working. It's because I'm always trying to make it easier for me. And that works out for you guys. So I said that because on the TM Joe group asked about the TV Trades beta tri-range trigger, the beta version of the tri-range trigger. And I haven't shown that or talked about it in a while. Okay, so what do you expect to hear from this, right? First thing you expect is this swing low, then this swing low, right? For targets. Now I'm going to be running out of time here pretty soon, but you expect to get to here and then down to here at a minimum, right? So you are welcome. He said all the tools I provide are awesome. That's what he said. Well, I mean, they better be. That's how I make a living. Trading, I mean. But I'm not going to introduce something to you that I haven't been using myself. So, I switched back to this. I didn't really mean to switch back to this. I meant to switch to this. Cancel on that. Save on this. And go to this one. Let's see if we had any other trades triggering in here. We do not. The Russell is pretty close to a trade, but it's not quite there. So, for those of you guys who don't know, is anybody in here for the very first time? Is anybody watching right now that has not watched anything that I've done in the past? Devin, I got your email. Devin, in your indicators section, you should have all the invite-only stuff. You should have this in the invite-only. Actually, you should have a lot of things in your invite-only because you're part of Passport too. But you should have this, you should have the range snipe, you should have the range trigger, you should have the swing trade. You should have those 4 things in there for TV trades. Okay? I just noticed that you're in here. I don't know why you're not getting emails from me. That's why I sent that other one from the other email address last night. Alright, so we just changed color right here. Now I gotta do something in here, I think. Yeah. Cancel. Make sure this one is right. Okay, make sure this is right. Okay. So, there's a couple of things that you want to have, that you want to make sure you have right in here. Now, you gotta have, first of all, you gotta have the password in, right? And then if you do match TV Trades tools buy and sell area, that's what matches the colors up down here with the colors up there. Alright, this thing right here does that. And if you do show retracement levels, that's these levels right here. The blue and the red lines right there, that's the retracement levels. Okay. When you turn that on, if you want it to be based upon the TV Trades, meaning the TV Trades background color, alright, so you're working with the background color and you're working with the trigger down here. If you want to be based on that, you have to check TV Trades. So make sure you check TV Trades. If you're in here and you're a subscriber, check the TV Trades. Now the midpoint part of this is right here. Alright, so this part is the retracement levels, the high and the low. You have to have that checked to have the midpoint. You have to have that checked. And you come in here and you turn on the midpoint, which is right here, 50% retrace level. That's your midpoint. Okay, and these are your upper and lower retracement lines. Right, that's to get all that information on your chart in one place. This is another trade over here on the gold, guys, and the Russell's about to give a short, but you see the blue color right here on a red background? That suggests that the next bar, if you get an up close on this bar, it suggests that the next bar is going to be a blue background. So you wouldn't be looking for a short just yet on that. Okay, Jerry. That's it. That's all you need is one trade a day. Jerry, I mean, you guys, anybody that's been in here that's on the mail list, you got that email from that one guy who was trading on his phone, right? I'm just looking to see if he's in here right now. He is not. But he sent me another one today because he took one trade today, and I'll show you that if I can. Let me see. He texted me a little while ago. Here he is right here. Well, I'll just tell you. He took one trade today and he was up $850 on that one trade. I think I can show you that without showing his name, I guess. Here. And he actually he had to make a change from doing it on his phone because he screwed up last week one time. He did it on his phone, but he got into a situation where he didn't get out of the trade at the right time. So that brought up something else. Now, Bert's not in here, my broker's not in here, but I know with one of the trading platforms that I used a long time ago, called Strategy Runner, we used to be able to put a daily max loss. Okay, the reason I just went into that little tangent there, guys, is because Jerry just said, man, being able to start at the black arrow on a 100 range, you just need one trade a day, and that is true. So let me go in here for a second and see if that thing came through. I sent it to myself. Here it is. Let me see if his name's on there. I don't think his name's on there, but it's not. It's not. Okay. So this is one that he sent me today. He's up $850 on the one trade. He had one NQ trade. He's up $850 on that one NQ trade today. That was the guy that, in that email that I sent out, that showed those 4 different things. That's basically what he does. He takes one trade a day. Some days he doesn't take any trades, but he does that on a larger time frame. He just waits for it. Excuse me. Alright, so it's 3:16. We have 45 minutes left in here, so we're halfway through this session right now. We didn't come out of the oversold here, so we didn't make it into the oversold, so we don't have a trade that's setting up here on the ES. We did make it into the oversold on the NQ, but we went through 100% retracement right here, so we're probably not going to get a trade there on the NQ. The Russell, we didn't come out of the oversold, so we don't have a trade there. The gold, we do have a trade. So we're hanging on here on the gold trade. We're waiting. Alright, now it's 3:17. I don't expect we're really going to get a lot of action to trade with until like 3:45 or 3:50 this afternoon. Okay, as we get closer to a close. I think people are going to start positioning for the NVIDIA stuff. And there's other earnings that are coming out as well, but I think that's a big one. There's going to be a lot of money moved when that happens. Alright. So, hang on, I'm looking over here. Messages. Alright. So it's all good. The gold. The gold is starting to move a little bit, okay? This up close right here was a trade on the gold. You came out of the oversold with a blue background across the midpoint. So right there is your entry point. Was there a trade on the ES? No, there was not a trade on the ES. The problem with the ES in here, Wayne, you came out of the oversold, the overbought right here. You were nowhere near the midpoint. It went down, but it never made it into the oversold. It didn't have the full cycle. It never made it into the oversold there, so you don't There's nothing else in that direction until it goes the full cycle. So none of these were a valid trade in here. Alright. It's got to go to the full cycle and then come back up and go down again. Okay. Alright. So the gold's kind of squirming around right now. It's not really doing anything. It was positive a minute ago and now it's negative a little bit. We'll see what happens with that. On the crude oil right here, we don't have anything going on the crude. Now I could drop the crude down to a much smaller time frame, a 4 range. Those of you guys that have been around me for years and years, you know I traded on the 4 range on most everything for about 10 years. We did it all on a 4 range. And you know when it really got out of control on a 4 range is when Russia invaded Ukraine. That he really couldn't do stuff on a 4 range anymore. That's when I changed. So, that was what? Almost 3 years ago now, right? Or was it 3 years ago? Anyway, even on a 4 range, you're not getting anything here on the crude oil right now. But the same stuff applies. All the same rules apply. You still don't have anything in here. From when we started, there wasn't a single trade that was valid in here on the crude. So I guess I'll just go back to the 9 range. That's what my DOM's set up for anyway. So, on the gold, we're still in this gold. Here it is. Still in it. We don't have anything here on the Russell. We need to get into the oversold and then come out of the oversold. So it's going to have to get into the oversold. You're going to have a down close. See, the way that this will work. The reason this setup is so great is because you know ahead of time, like a few bars out, what has to happen. Alright? I know that if this bar closes down, this is going to probably get into the oversold. And if it gets into the oversold, then I know that we're going to need an up close to get out of the oversold. So the down close is going to put me at the midpoint and in the oversold. So I know for the next bar, I needed to come out of the oversold. For a conservative trade anyway, I needed to come out of the oversold. Now, the top of this bar is at, where's the top of this? Is at 78.3. So the down close is going to be at 77.4. So if that happens to be right there at the midpoint, if you get it down close and it's right on the midpoint as it goes into the oversold, that is a spot where you can be aggressive and just buy it. If that happens. I don't know if it's going to. It could. But I was saying it earlier, that had been happening pretty regularly, where a situation like that had been happening pretty regularly for a while. But it just stopped happening on a regular basis. Somebody asked me, there it is right there, somebody asked me months ago, what trade do I take every time? And well, there's a few trades, but this is one right here where it closes. If it closes right on the midpoint as it goes into the oversold, you can just buy the midpoint. Okay, I just did. You can just buy the midpoint. You don't have to wait for it to give you the up close. Alright, now I've gotten 5 ticks in profit, so I'm going to go to break. Oops. Huh. I was just going to buy the midpoint, I didn't get filled. See that? I went to bump my stop to break even and it said, hey, you're not in the trade. But you would just buy the midpoint. Right? Now I can do the conservative thing. I can just wait for the up close, or I could just buy it right here and not wait for the up close, because if you bought the midpoint, you're fully expecting it to give you the up close and get up to the prior swing high. I can't believe I missed that. It didn't feel me. I went to hit. Did you see? I tried to go to break even, and I had this message that popped up on my other monitor that said, "You're not in a trade." Okay, so anyway, the conservative trade is going to be to buy the up close. All right, right there, buy the up close. That's conservative trade. And here that one is. There, I did get this one. Okay, so the other markets right here, the crude oil is not giving you anything. It's got a blue background and it's done more than 100% retracement. The ES needs to pull all the way back down here to get to the midpoint to give you an up close. And the gold, we're still in that gold trade. Alright, it's now 323. I don't expect we're really going to see a lot of volatility in the markets until like 345, 350, something like that. I think it's going to pick up. But So I'm going to slide this off to the side. So we're in a Russell trade and we're in a gold trade right now. And neither one of them are doing really anything. Neither one of them have gone to break even yet. Neither one of them are in profit. Now the Russell's in profit a little bit. But I want to bring this all over here so I can talk about it with you. Now there's another thing that's going on. This is the daily, right? And this is the all-time high right here at 875 is the all-time high. Right there. 50875. The Russell, how high did the Russell get? This is the Russell here right now, right? The high on that is 78.5. I need to get up to 78.7 to bump my stop. Alright. So crude oil is just not doing anything. That's why I was saying with the crude, you know, the hours you really want to trade are between 9 and 2:30 Eastern time. And the natural gas, you can do the same thing with the natural gas. We are above Friday's high right now on the ES. That's a good thing. If we close above Friday's high on the ES today, we're going to see higher highs. New all-time highs are going to be coming up very soon. Was it on Friday? It wasn't Friday because we had this candle on Friday. So I said this at some other point this week when we had a 50% retracement right here. I said that this is a good buying point right here. Consider buying call options, I believe is what I said, for the end of the week, because we should be putting in all-time highs by the end of the week, and for sure by the end of next week. There's so much news we have coming out. We have a holiday weekend this weekend. For those of you guys who don't know, it's a 3-day weekend this weekend. I don't know if the markets are closed completely on Monday or if they open up at a certain time or they close at a certain time, or I don't know what the deal is, but I know I'm not doing anything. So we have a short week next week. We'll still be doing our regular Wednesday meeting though. That'll be on schedule, hopefully. Hopefully I won't have any crises that stop that. Alright, we are going to break even on the Russell right now, guys. It just ran up. 0.7 is the spot to go to break even. I'm going to lock in just one tick on this so I don't lose anything at all. And now my target on that is 25 ticks, and 25 ticks puts it right up above the high of the day at 80.7. This is the high of the day right here. Okay, I expect it's probably going to get up there. We're at the swing high right here, so I'm going to lock in a couple more ticks on that. Okay, here, I'll bring it over here so you can watch me manage it. That is always on top. Okay, so we're probably going to get out with a couple of ticks right here, but we'll see. I expect it is going to go up here. Alright, but I don't know if it's going to pull back before it does. And the gold, we're still in that gold trade. Alright, we did get 2 ticks on the Russell. And here's the gold. We're still in that gold trade. Alright, so let me bring up this little guy right here. And we got 2 on the Russell. 2 on the Russell. So this is, well, we have 3 trades so far. Oops, I put that in the wrong column. 3 trades. Take that guy. Alright. And we are waiting right here. Oops. Now, the bar colors don't look right on that. One of the things you want to make sure you have, don't have this selected if you're using the bar colors in here on your range trigger. Don't have that selected, right? Because the bar colors give you an indication of when the background color is going to change on the next bar, or when it's likely to change. You see how this red is on the blue background? That suggests if we get a down close on this bar, the background color is going to change. That's what it suggests. Okay. On the crude oil. So let me snap that back. I want to look at one more thing to have it. It's on Coinbase. Why do I have it on Coinbase? You know, one more. See if I have what I'm looking for. I don't. Oh, one more. There it is. This is what I was looking for. Alright. So just go back to 4 here. Alright. Well, the gold is in some pretty good chop. We're at right here is where we're entered. So we're right at break even on this right now. When the markets do start to move, I expect it's going to get up above the prior swing high right here. I'm tempted to bail on the trade right now because it's been taking so long, but alright, does anybody have any questions about anything at this point? Okay, for those of you guys who don't know, these are the results from the Wednesday trades. Alright, I didn't have this broken down. I could go back and watch the video on that and break it down to the number of whatever for the market, but I think it was almost all ES on that day. And on this one too. But since I've started keeping better track of it, we're averaging, not counting today, we're averaging $3,345 with 10 contracts on the Wednesday session. So with just one contract on, we're averaging $334 per Wednesday with just one contract. And if that's a micro, then you still make enough to pay for the whole thing and have some profit with one micro on the Wednesdays. So if you're not subscribed, there really is no reason to not be subscribed, so you can have this stuff every day of the week. And you can do crypto with it too, so you can actually trade over the weekend if you really want to. Netflix. The older stuff that's showing up in the Telegram channel, it has the target, the stop, and all that stuff listed in the channel. The new stuff, the swing trade stuff that I have right now, just lets you know that there's a trade. It doesn't give you all that other information in it, because it's a swing trade, and that other information is, well, it's a little more complicated to figure out. I could give you a stop number, but how you manage your stop with the swing trade is going to be a little bit different than how we manage stops in the smaller time frames like this. Okay, so if you guys are subscribed, you should also be in the Telegram channels. Okay, where real-time results get posted. Like 16 were posted here in the swing trade channel today, I think. All these ones right here. In the swing trade channel, I'm gonna change it. I haven't done it yet. John, I think John's out here today. But I said last week that I was gonna probably change the swing trade channel so you have all equities and ETFs in one, and then futures in another one, just for swing trades. Because this originally was just for equities and ETFs, the swing trade channel, and I just added the futures to it. Let me find that. Okay, so this right here is TV Trades futures signals. Alright, and this has got some larger time frame trades in here. And then this one right here is TV Trades trade signals, and this has got the ETFs and the equities in it. Okay, and this one right here, that is this one. I think there's another one, this one, right? Micro futures. This has got just micros in it. Right? The only one that's got swing trades coming off of the actual swing trade tool, the only one that's got that is the swing trade channel, I think. Not that one. This one, TV Trades swing trades. And those begin with an asterisk. And they say swing trade right in it. I think. I'm trying to find one. Where are they? I can't believe there's none in here. Well, I'll show you one over here. In the alerts, and this is the log. This right here. Okay. This is a 15 range ES swing trade signal that triggered earlier today. Right here. Now I don't have it on there, but see how it begins with an asterisk? Asterisk, it says TVT swing. And when it begins with an asterisk, that's got the most recent swing trade stuff. That one right there, that one right there. This one right here, and this one right here. Alright, were those out today? I don't know. And this was the crude oil. So let's go back to crude on it. CL. And that was a 9 range on crude. And it wasn't giving us a darn thing. Alright, well it's 3:33. Does anybody have any questions? We have about 27 minutes left in this session. And right now, so far with the trades that we've taken, we're up $1,700, I think, something like that. Right, $1,700 with 10 contracts, or 170 with 1 contract. Okay, so the Russell did go up through the prior swing high, and now I'm looking for it to get up above the high of the day, which is right here, 80.7. Now, it may get up there, it may not. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see on that. Do I think what will be ready? That newer thing that I talked about, Jerry? I gotta test it, and it took me forever to get the swing trade stuff ready, because with swing trades, I mean, you don't test you don't have 30 trades a day like you do with the smaller time frame stuff. So it's gonna take a little while for me to test it out thoroughly. But I was in a meeting actually with Jessica the other day, and I showed her. Let me see if I can find it. I don't remember exactly which one of these it was. Try this. Yeah, you minimize that and turn on the swing trades. This one? Maybe. Swing notice, swing trade notice. And I'm looking to see if it... I don't see it actually triggering. You see all the brown ones here? This is something else that I was working on. And this is an ES4 range, so that's not really a swing trade thing. But let me put the regular swing trade on there. Shut that off. So there's something else I got going on here. I don't know. This is all stuff that I'm working on. I'm not going to bother you with that right now. Let's go back here and see if we got a trade set up in here. We do not have a trade set up. I only have till tomorrow. Yeah, that's not going to work for me. Tomorrow is Thursday, right? Yeah, it's Thursday. Alright, well it's 3:36 and we should see some stuff start to happen here pretty soon. Sadly, this gold trade stopped out. This guy over here. So that gives us one more trade, but takes out a lot of the gains that we had on that first trade. This is now down to 1. This is up to 4. Okay, but I suspect that's going to change here in a few minutes. I'm going to switch this back to the NQ because we're just not getting anything on the crude oil. Alright, I can go back to the NQ on that and see if we're going to get anything over here on the NQ as we close out the session. Okay, let me get rid of that crude dom. Alright, so the ES is getting up to the all-time high, not the all-time high, the day high. The day high is right here, not the ES, the S2, is it? No, the Russell is. There was one point today where the ES was going into the daily high, and the Russell was, I'm sorry, the ES was going into the low of the day, and the Russell was going into the high of the day, right next to each other. Right, so here's the high of the day on the ES right now. So we don't have a trade set up for anything there, but all three of these guys right here, the NQ is not really near the high of the day, but it's about to give us a trade, and it's making a run up right here. The gold, we stopped out on that. It ended up being a stop out after that, holding on to it, period there. And so now we have to wait. We'll take what happens next. And we have about 20 minutes left. So I'm thinking right now things should start picking up. The volatility should pick up a little bit here. And we'll get some good action here. As far as the other things that I was going over, does anybody have any questions about any of that? The new thing that I'm creating. You see, I hate to put new things out, because I mean, then you guys are gonna say, well, I just start doing one thing and you put out something else that's new, and it's throwing me off. And I can't stick to a plan because I keep creating something new, and I don't want to get you guys in that place. So it'll be a while. I really do want you all to be successful with this. Alright. Devin, do you have everything working on your desktop? Are you still in here? Let me check. He's not in here. He's having email issues. John H. Do you have a question? Did I miss a question from you in there? I don't think I did. I just see your hand is up. Maybe just waving to me. Alright, so we don't have any other opportunities here right now, right at the moment. Yet. $20 left. And I'm really expecting the markets to start picking up right now. So we stopped out pretty much to the tick over here on this gold. And 9.1 down to, yeah, it was exactly to the tick. 15 ticks. Alright. Well, if we were to look at the ES on a smaller time frame. Wow, that just looks so tiny. Years ago when I switched to the 7 range, it looked so big. The stops looked huge. And now this little 4 range just looks tiny. But all the same stuff applies. You know, the entry techniques and all that, they're all the same. If you are looking for a sell and it goes past the 50%, when is it not a trade? Okay, if it retraces, like if you're looking to sell on a down close, right? Let's find an instance like this right in here. Now, let me find one that was actually a sell. I'm looking for the exact instance that you're talking about. This is almost it right here, right? If you're looking for a sell and price pulls back through the midpoint, right? If it pulls back through the midpoint and it gets up above the midpoint so that the down close is above the midpoint, that's when it's not a trade. When the down close ends up being above the midpoint is when it's not a trade. Okay? I like it to hit the midpoint and close down off the midpoint. The ideal trade would be that. We didn't have a whole bunch of them today, but something like this one right here on the long side, that right there would be good. This one right here would be good. That didn't work out, but that would be good right there. That's what I look for. All right. If you're looking for the short on the other side of that, if it goes through the midpoint to the point where the down close of the bar is going to be above the midpoint when it comes out of the overbought, then that's too far. Okay, that has gone too far. Why no NQ today? I did have the NQ up. I mean, I wanted to do crude oil because I talked about crude at the beginning, John. And the NQ kind of whooped me today. But we haven't had a single trade on the NQ since the session started, I don't think. I guess there was one back here a little while ago, but I was on the crude oil then. And the gold is coming around back up to where I had entered on it. So, still waiting. I think here in the next 15 minutes we're going to see some volatility creep into the markets. And we'll probably get another trade or two, hopefully. Okay. But John H., that is... I had talked about crude oil at the beginning. This thing here. At the beginning. And that's why I didn't have any. I replaced the NQ with crude. There was one crude trade, swing trade, that triggered right here. And that is still working its way into profit here. I'd expect it's going to get down to here and then eventually get down to here. But remember, the markets actually close at 5 o'clock, and you probably don't want to be holding crude overnight. As a matter of fact, tonight, you probably don't want to be holding anything overnight, because there's going to be a lot of volatility between the close of the U.S. markets here and the close of the futures markets at 5, and then the futures markets are probably going to have a lot of volatility in the overnight session. Because the Asian markets and the European markets are going to be reacting to the NVIDIA results. They're going to come out after the close. So while that's going to play into the futures markets before the open of the equity markets tomorrow morning. Okay. So we have 14 minutes left and we don't have a trade set up here yet. We almost have one here on the Russell. Did we get the oversold? Nope, we didn't. So we need a down close followed by an up close on the Russell. On the gold, it needs to get into the overbought and then pull back down into the oversold to give us a trade. We stopped out to the tick, to the very tick on this one over here. And we don't have anything yet on the ES or on the NQ. The NQ just reset to midpoint when it came out of the oversold. Okay. So you see this red right here? That started when it came out of the oversold here. And it changed when it came back out of the oversold here. Okay, it reset the midpoint in there. Alright, so this didn't make it into the oversold, so we need a down close on this bar, followed by an up close on the next bar. I do options also, John. Personally. Alright, Wayne, you have a great... I'll see you next week. You have a great long weekend. Be safe. Make good decisions. Okay? I see you happy and healthy. Mentoring you next week. Alright. So we are waiting. But yeah, John, a lot of times in the beginning of the week, I'll give my thoughts on what the market should do by the end of the week. And, you can consider whether you should or shouldn't consider, like, SPY, QQQ, RLM, or any of the other call options, or put options, depending what the situation is. We need a down close here on this Russell. We need a down close followed by an up close, because we're not in the oversold So we're not going to have a trade there until it gets in the oversold and comes out of it. I feel like I've been talking all day. Losing my voice. Alright, still no trades. Still waiting. Stitch golf. Swing trade on the ES. I don't know. I have to hit save on this. In what time frame, Sharon? Oh, on a 4 range. Okay. I don't know. I don't have the swing trade on there, but we can put it on a 4 range. And it did give you an indication right here to go long on the open of that bar. And the market's just gapped a little bit, so let's go back here so I can trade this. But yeah, it did give you a little bit. It did give an indication there on the 4 range. How did I do today? I actually had my first blue day of the year. I got my goal for the day after 10 minutes, John. But on the 19 range, the NQ kicked my butt today. I was down 80 ticks on the NQ in the morning session. I had my first blue day of the year. 159 trading days. Means I got the goal for the day, but I ended negative in the morning session. I mean, I got it back, but I ended negative in the morning session. I just ran out of time this morning. In the afternoon session, I had 3 profitable trades. And so right here on the NQ, we need to hit the midpoint and give an up close. Right on the NQ. And the Russell, we needed a down close on this bar. Actually, we needed a down close on this bar back here. And we got an up close. So we're just a little choppy in there. Now the NQ didn't close down, so it's kind of messed up. It's got to close up and then go down 2 bars. It's getting tougher and tougher to see a trade set up in here. We only have 9 minutes left in this session. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's kind of like the morning session. I ran out of time. I mean, we're positive right now, but barely. We were up pretty good until I stopped out to the tick over here on this gold trade. Right, and that still hasn't gone anywhere. I still wouldn't have my stop at break even on that. If I wouldn't have stopped out to the tick, I still wouldn't have my stop at break even. We need an up close here on the NQ, followed by a down close, followed by 2 down closes. And then another up close. It could happen. It could all happen here. If I stay over like 2 or 3 minutes after 4 o'clock, once the earnings come out, there should be some pretty good volatility in here. Knock off a couple of trades. How did you do today, John? John H. John L. I'm going to go check out that thing for you with the swing trade, but I am almost certain I created that for you. It's not until 4:20? Okay, well then I'm not going to stick around for that. Alright, so the NQ did not give us the up close, did not go into the overbought, so you're not going to have a trade here on the NQ. The S needs 2 down closes followed by an up close. The Russell needs a down close followed by an up close. And the gold needs an up close followed by 2 down closes followed by an up close. So I don't know if we're going to get any trades here, guys. We could, but I doubt it. Yeah. Well, the NQ on the 19 range was tough to trade today. On the larger time frame, the 47 range only had one trade this morning, and the whole morning session had one trade. And that was a short right here. Was the only trade on the NQ on a 49 range during the morning session. I think it had one more in the afternoon session. I don't know, but it hasn't had any in here. Put that back here to the 19 range. We'll go here, and it's possible we could have a trade here. We need another down close on the NQ followed by an up close on the NQ. Would be a trade over there. Okay, we still have 5 minutes left, so it could happen. Infinity is not till 4:20. Huh, I thought it was right at the close. Oh well. There's the down close. It didn't go into the oversold on the down close. Well, that sucks. I was almost certain it was going to go into the oversold on the down close, but it failed to. Even that one failed to go into the oversold. And now it's acting kind of strange. Let me do this. Back to this. Okay, this choppiness right here is not normal. Not normal activity. Alright, well, we're starting to get some activity. We have 5 minutes left. We're starting to get a little bit of volatility cranking up here. 502.25. That's higher than last Friday's high. 875 is the high, all-time high. I think we're going to hit it today. Still looking for an opportunity. It's too bad we stopped out to the tick on that gold trade. We'd be up $1,700 right now if we didn't. But we still have a chance here. So 4 minutes left. We could easily get a trade here on the NQ or the ES. The ES needs to give us a couple of down closes with an up close. Same thing with the NQ. And the Russell, they're all in the same place. Even the gold, they're all in exactly the same place. They're all in the overbought. So they all need to get into the oversold and come out of the oversold. There's the first one. That is what I like about this setup so much, is that you know ahead of time exactly what you need. I know I need a down close on this bar, and then an up close on the bar after that. If it doesn't happen in that order, well then it just resets everything. You have to wait. See? Now, it might take a couple of closes. A down close on this bar is going to put us here, but put us in the oversold, but it won't put us at the midpoint. So the bar after that could, from the midpoint, could actually hit the midpoint and close up and come out of the oversold, right? It didn't go into the oversold. So now we need to get into the oversold. The NQ is acting really strange. Just go to another one and back, just to make sure everything is normal. It looks like it is. So we need a down close on this. Should put us in the oversold, and then up close on the next bar. On the ES, we need 2 down closes, and then an up close, I think. We got an up close and a down close. Alright, so now on the ES we need a down close followed by an up close. On the NQ we need basically the same thing. If we were just trading these two markets, that's what we need. Midpoint's flat here, but we're not in the oversold. And we didn't get it on the NQ. That's too bad. We could still get it here on the ES, but we're not there yet. Alright, there's the down close on the ES. Now we need the up close on the ES. And it's got a low here of 875. So now it's got a low all the way down here at 775. That's not going to be a trade on the ES. It's not going to be a trade on the ES. Okay. Excuse me. The up close there wasn't anywhere near the midpoint. The NQ gave you the up close in here, and it went 10 ticks in a profit, and then it turned right around. So I didn't do anything with the NQ. The ES wasn't actually a trade, and now we're getting just about to the close, so the market started jumping around a bit. The gold managed to go up into the overbought. It needs to come out of the overbought, get into the oversold, and come out of the oversold. Right now we need these guys to get into the overbought and come out of the overbought. Okay. So it's waiting right to the last minute here at the close. Everything is, it looks like. So let's see if we can get a trade off here on the NQ or the ES. Or even the Russell. Let's see if we can get a trade off at any one of these. Right here at the close. They gotta get into the overbought and test the midpoint. Couple of up closes with a down close here on the NQ. I'm going to have to call it here in just a minute or two. We didn't end up with a trade over here on the gold. The gold is still just about at where I would have had it. We would have just hit the point where we could have moved the stop to break even on the gold had we not stopped out on that to the tick earlier. And we still don't have any trades right here. The way it's dropping here, pre-NVIDIA, is interesting. And did I go all the way out to 8 on that? I did. That's right at $3. Okay. I'm gonna give it just another minute or two, and then I'm going to just wrap it up. It's 4:02. I don't want to drag this out too long. I might have to just quit. Does anybody have any questions about any of the stuff that we've done? Anybody about anything that we've done at this juncture? The trades that we've taken, the trades we didn't take. If we jump back and we look at the crude oil really quick over here. This swing low right here is where I expect it's going to get down to initially, right? It might find some support there. It's found some good chopper there earlier, so it showed support there earlier. Then the next level down would be right here. Okay, you don't want to be holding that overnight. I think I'm gonna have to wrap it up, guys. It's 4:02. I know I started like 3 minutes late, so I'm giving it the full hour and a half here, but the volatility that we had didn't result in any trades. It moved it, just shifted it from bullish to bearish, and didn't give us any trade setups. So, alright, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to tvtrades.com, click on any one of the orange things. They're going to bring you down to the bottom. Click on one of these. It's $25 a week. After the free 30-day trial, it's $25 a week, or $90 a month, or $9.97 a year. So far, every one of these Wednesdays, the average of the Wednesdays is easily enough to get your money back for the subscription cost. And today well, today was only 20 bucks, I think. If we look at the Wednesday thing and we fill it out, we're up 200 bucks today. So it was only 20 bucks with one contract. We were up 1,700 bucks, I think, at the top. We're up 1,700 bucks, but then we stopped out on that one trade. I was really hoping we were going to get another shot at it here, but it doesn't look like we're gonna. Nope, it doesn't look like we're gonna. So this actually goes to is that 16 now or 17? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this should be a 17. 17. So we're averaging $3,060 per Wednesday session with 10 contracts on, or $306 with one contract on, or $30.6 with one micro on. So any one of those is enough to pay for the subscription, right? Just trading the Wednesdays. And that's it, guys. With that, I guess we're going to wrap it up. We don't have any of the trades going right here. Nothing is triggering right now. I suspect things will. I guess in another 15-20 minutes when the NVIDIA stuff comes out, you'll have more futures stuff. That'll trigger, have some opportunity in there. But for now, I am going to wrap it up here. We will do another webinar next week. I think it's going to be on the 3rd next week. Let me just check that. It is going to be on Wednesday the 3rd next week. Alright. Again, go to tvtrades.com, sign up for the trial if you haven't signed up for the trial. If anybody has any questions, you can email support@targetviewtrades.com, or you can text me on my phone number. If you're a subscriber, you have my phone number that's been given to you. You can text me at that number. Okay? Thanks, everybody.